Uh, yeah. Once again, good evening, everyone. This is Kishore Ramaraju, based out of Houston, Texas. I am in US since last 15 plus years. I'm IT project manager. Uh, one reason, right? We all left India, left our family, left our parents, or left our friends, relatives, came with wife and kids here mainly for one reason, right? We want to have a better quality of life. We want to give a better life for our kids. That's one major reason. And we all agree that what is the most important thing in your life? Each of us will answer that our family, our spouse, and our kids. We all answer the same way, right? But uh, due to non-awareness, or maybe because of delaying things, we are making mainly three mistakes, right? One of them is not sharing the information, especially financial information, with our better off, with our spouse. uh, can you hear the voice now? Is it better?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, thanks, Mark. So the three mistakes, right? The three items where we are taking lot of risk is, the first one is not sharing the financial information. We do a lot of investments. We do in real estate, we do in stocks, we do lot of things, but we don't share that information with our better offs, with our spouse, especially if they are homemakers, right? The situation will be much worse if we are not sharing such type of information. If something happens, that's a huge problem, right? We are taking a major risk there. The second thing, right? We are not protecting ourselves by having a minimum insurance, right? We are depending on either on the employer insurance, or we think that nothing will happen to us, right? Any problems will only happen to others. We'll see all those GoFundMe links, we contribute, or we forward to all our friends on Facebook, WhatsApp, but we are not protecting our families, right? We are ignoring protecting our families. The third major item, right, much more bigger issue or bigger risk we are taking, is about the will and trust. Most of us think like will is only for wealthy people, right? Only if you have lot of assets or something, we need will. Otherwise, we don't need will. Or people think like, okay, will and trust are same, and they think like, okay, I have something from my employer, or I can get something from Office Depot, Walmart, somewhere, or I can write on a paper, or I already defined my beneficiaries. So there are a lot of misassumptions or lot of gap in that knowledge in the related to the will and trust. So we did nearly 10 webinars like this, where we had over 100 to 200 participants every time. We are doing this every 3 months. Mark, whenever I request Mark immediately accepts that. He comes and educates our community. So it is not just because some incidents happened in Dallas, or because of that uh, we are trying to do all these seminars. We do nearly every 3 months we do these seminars. But again, now because of those two incidents which happened in Dallas just before 1 week, again we want to make sure, right? We communicate the importance of will and trust to our community. So I requested Mark, and Mark is vice president of NetLaw, one of the top companies which provide this will and trust solutions. So immediately Mark accepted. He's a great uh, uh, supporter of all the community leaders who try to provide this information. He's, since nearly last 1 week, he's doing nearly 5 to 6 seminars uh, across USA. So thanks, Mark. Thanks a lot for taking time educating our community about the importance of will and trust. Uh, and it's all yours, Mark. I think Mark went on to. Hey, Mark. it seems. Oh, yeah, Mark.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I was muted, so
Okay.
I couldn't talk. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight to talk about the importance of estate planning. It's great to be with you. Hopefully wherever you're at, it's a lot warmer than where I'm at because it's flurrying and it's snowing and it's cold. So I hope everybody else is a lot warmer than we are. So it's great to be with you. Let's get started talking about estate planning. This is something that estate planning is one of those topics where if you ask someone if they have their estate planning, they're going to say no. 60% of Americans don't have a will, and 90% of Americans don't have all the documents that we offer in our program, which is a scary number. And I love, this is probably the best part of my job is to get to come on to webinars and talk to people that Kishore knows and just really educate them on the facts of what is estate planning and why you need it. So let's get started. And I'm so happy to get to represent my company, NetLaw. What is NetLaw? So NetLaw is an online estate planning tool that you can use to create your documents. So people think with an estate plan, you need to go to an attorney, you need to spend a lot of money to get your documents created. And that's just not true anymore. With the emergence of software being able to do everything, estate planning is one of those. And before NetLaw was created, we worked in a law office called Hargrove Madden, and all we did was estate planning. But the problem with working in an estate planning law office is you can only serve people in your state. We weren't nationwide. We were just a little law office. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to take this and reach everyone across the US. And, how do you do that? And the easy answer is technology, right? Technology. And that's what we created. So we created NetLaw, which is a software that allows you to go in and create state-specific documents. And the software works whenever you answer or need something, it builds your platform for you. So it really is high tech. As I said, we work with attorneys in all 50 states to come up with state-specific documents. So when you do a NetLaw plan, you're getting the same exact documents you would get if you went and spent money with an attorney. In 2012, the James Keene Award from the American Bar Association was awarded to NetLaw. That award is given each year to the company that has the best online delivery of legal documents. So if you're like us, a technology company, that's the award you want to win. And we were lucky enough to win it. Very humbling to win that award. So when the American Bar Association says that you have the best online delivery of legal documents, you're doing something right. Our major competitors like Legal Shield, LegalZoom, right? Companies that spend millions and millions of dollars on advertising haven't won this award yet. So we kind of hung our hats on this award and we've taken it out and are able to go nationwide with a product that is a lot cheaper and the same quality as going and talking to an attorney. Let's talk about the documents that we offer. We offer 5 different plans, but in the second column, the premium probate avoidance package, this is the program that we do 90% of the time. This is all the documents that you're going to need for an estate plan. And I'm going to go through each one of these and briefly talk about them, what they are and why you need them. The first one is the will, right? Everyone knows the will, right? That's what comes with an estate plan. The first thing you think about if you've been asked, do you have your estate planning done, is will and trust, right? Well, this is the will. So there's 3 major aspects of the will. First, the executor. You need to name an executor. That's the person who's going to be in charge when you pass away, right? Who's going to pay final expenses? Who's going to make sure that the assets get to the beneficiaries? That's the role of an executor. Secondly, guardianship of minor children. If you have minor children and you pass away, if you don't name a guardian in your will, then the court system will decide who raises your kids after that. right? Nobody wants the court system getting into any kind of decisions that we need to make. That's why it's so important to do your will. And the third aspect is specific bequest. A specific bequest is just tell me which items you own and who the beneficiary is going to be. Remember, if you don't name this in the will, the court system again will come in and decide who gets your assets. That's a will. Also in the will, the second item is included a children's trust. So if going back to guardianships and if you have minor children, and if you pass away, do you want your child to receive their inheritance when they turn 18? You could possibly, yes, I want them to have everything when they turn 18, or you could set it up to where they receive just a little bit of it, a certain percentage at maybe age 18, and then a little bit of it at 21, and then maybe the remainder at 30, right? A little bit for college, a little bit when they get out of college, and the rest when they're starting their lives, right? They're getting married, starting their careers. You can, after you pass away, you can still protect them by making sure that they still have finances coming in, not all at age 18. Because knowing me at age 18, if I would have received a lump sum inheritance, I would have probably blown right through it. So this way we can protect our children even after we've passed. The third item, durable financial power of attorney. We all know what that is, power of attorney. If we get sick, we can't make our financial decisions for ourselves. Who's going to help us do that? And that's your financial power of attorney. The next three things I'm going to talk about are healthcare documents. So healthcare documents, a lot of people don't consider healthcare documents being part of your estate plan, but it really is. Healthcare surrogate, that's someone who's going to make your medical decisions if you can't for yourself. The HIPAA authorization allows someone to see your medical charts so that they can make informed decisions with the doctors. An advance directive. It's also called a living will in some states, but that's end-of-life decisions. Do you want to be hooked up to a machine as long as possible? Or when it's time, do you just want to pass naturally so that there's no undue burden from your family? You don't want to just draw it out. You just want to pass naturally. Again, these are all your decisions. You make them. If you don't make them for yourself, the hospital will make them for you. We also have a pet trust. If you have a dog or cat, and you pass away, someone's going to have to take over ownership of that animal. You can leave a little bit of money behind so that that person can afford to, pay vet bills, food, boarding if needed, right? So we have that as well. And the last one that I'm going to talk about is revocable living trust. It's a probate avoidance trust. And that goes back to the will, right? As I always said, when you think about estate planning, you think of will and trust. Now everybody tries to lump them into one document, but they're really two. The reason you have a trust is so that you can put your major assets into the trust so it avoids probate. Probate is a process where the court system comes in and freezes your assets. If you have a trust, then those assets avoid probate and they are distributed to your beneficiaries right away. They don't have to go through the probate process, which can really take anywhere from 30 to about 150 days, depending on what state you live in. So those are all the documents that you get. One thing that I want to point out is the spouse's plan is included in this as well. So for $600, you get 2 full sets of documents. It also comes with a life vault where you can store all of your important documents in our life vault. It has 100 gigabytes of data, so you should never run out of storage space. And we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you go through the program, decide it's not for you, okay, as long as you don't download your documents, we'll go ahead and give you your money back. Now, some people reach out to us and say, hey, we can't afford the $600. No problem. We have a financing offer, $60 a month for 12 months. And that covers you for the full year. And all of these documents are revocable. That means you can go in and change them at any time. After the first year, if you decide that you want to continue, You just continue to pay the $8 a month and your plan stays open. But remember, that's an optional fee. You can choose not to pay that. All of your documents that are in your vault are yours. You can print them out at any time. The only thing that you won't be able to do is edit your documents. And there's always, let's say you decide that you don't want to do it. And, a year down the road, you decide, hey, I need to change one of my documents. No problem. Just call us up. We'll reactivate your account. And what we'll do is we'll charge you $8 a month for however many months you've been closed. So if it's 12 months, 8 times 12 is 96. We would just charge you $96 to reopen your account. But we cap that fee at $250. So if it's 5 or 10 years down the road, you're only going to pay $250. That's the maximum you'll pay to reopen your account. So you can see the advantage. In our law office, if you just got this package, it's going to run you anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000. If you go see an attorney, you're not going to get the life vault. You're not going to be able to edit your documents, right? So for $600 as opposed to $3,500, hopefully you can see the value and the extra benefits that you get. Like I said, the $600 package is our main one. It's 90% of what we do. But let me briefly talk about the other 4 platforms that we have. We have an essentials package for $400. The only difference between that plan and the $600 plan is the $400 plan doesn't include the trust. The irrevocable life insurance trust in the 3rd column is $750. You have to have a lot of life insurance. It's just a life insurance trust. So you would need anywhere from probably $5 to $10 million in life insurance for that to be feasible for you. But it does help out on taxes of your beneficiaries when you pass and they get your life insurance. The 2 forms to the right, the 2 plans, the $99 plans, I call them starter packages. They're really designed for anyone 18 to 20 years old. They've just become an adult. They probably don't own a lot of stuff. And this is a great starter package. It includes their power of attorney and the 3 healthcare documents. The only difference is the student package contains a FERPA consent form for college. And that's just a form that the student signs, and it gives permission for the parents to call up the school to get information about grades, conduct. If the child's hurt, the school can give them information about that. Without that form, remember, the children are probably over 18, and with HIPAA laws, the school will not be able to give out any information on them without that FERPA consent form. So you can see how valuable that form is. So those are all of the plans that we offer. The $600 plan gives you pretty much everything that you're going to need for the rest of your life. Now, remember when I said it's $8 a month to continue after the first year? I created this chart to kind of give you a reason of, well, why would I ever want to change my documents? And I'll just go through a couple of these. You can read them. But the first one, change in marital status, right? Remember, I said that this plan includes both spouses. But what happens if you purchase this and you're single and 2 or 3 years down the road, you get married? Great. You can bring your spouse in absolutely free. Or the opposite. You purchase the plan as a married couple and you get divorced, right? So, you can go in and make the needed changes through there. Relocation to a new state. If you're in Texas and you fill out all of your documents and you move to Kentucky because you got a job change. Well, if you didn't have NetLaw, you would have to find a Kentucky attorney and do this all over again, paying the outrageous fee. With NetLaw, you just go in and change your address in the system. The documents will update to Kentucky law, and then you just print out your documents and get them witnessed and notarized, and you're done. The value in this program, you can see just from that. Birth of a grandchild or a child, or maybe you adopted a child, right? You would want to add them into your estate plan so that you can put them, into being a beneficiary. When you pass away, you're probably going to leave them life insurance, your house, cars, bank accounts. You're going to leave them all that. The ability to go in and change these documents are so valuable because you never know when, I call this life events, right? You never know when a life event is going to happen. And it's so key that you have the ability to go in and update your documents at any time. So why is estate planning so important? I've kind of went through all of the documents and talked to you about why you need them. But now I'm kind of going to dive into 4 aspects of why you really need this. The first one is you decide who gets your assets. But if you don't have a will, that's not true. Like I said, if you don't name your specific bequest, where your assets are going to go, who they're going to go to, the court system will come in and decide that for you. It's a rule called intestate. Intestate just means that you died without a will. Now the court system has to come in and act as your representative to see where your stuff's going to go. And again, like I said, no one wants the court system getting involved in any of their activities. That's why this is so important. Guardianship of minor children, right? Who's going to take care of your child if you pass away? Again, if you don't name this in your will, the court system will come in and decide. And you talk about infighting between families, the mom side and the dad side will go to war over who's going to raise these grandchildren. It is so important to do this just to stop the fighting, right? The children have already lost their parents. They don't want to see their grandparents or their aunts and uncles fighting over who's going to raise them. It's just not healthy for the children. That's why we do this. Third, probate. I talked about probate earlier. Probate, again, is the process where the court systems freeze all of your assets for a certain amount of days. That gives creditors time to come in and take what's owed to them, and then the rest is given to your beneficiaries. Everything that you put into your trust avoids probate, so that when you pass away, your assets are given to your beneficiaries right away. And it's important just in case, in the fact that maybe, you passed away very unexpectedly, right? Who's going to pay the funeral cost if that hasn't already been done in advance, right? Maybe you need that life insurance policy. Maybe you need the money in the bank to help pay for funeral expenses. You never know, right? So avoiding probate is very, very good to have. You need to have that trust. And lastly, the medical decisions, right? I talked about earlier when we were talking about fighting over the guardianship. Well, how about fighting in the hospital if you haven't passed yet, but maybe you're in a coma, you have, cancer and you're not awake. And one of the kids says that, no, mom wanted to pull the plug. And one of the kids are fighting, no, she would have never wanted that. It's so important to have these decisions already made out so that your family knows exactly what your wishes are, and you're done, right? There's no fighting. There's no arguing because they already know your decisions. So why NetLaw? Personal, right? These are all your decisions. You need to make them so that everything is complete. Everything is done. And when you pass away, your decisions will be held. Conversational, right? We just talked about that. This is something that you need to talk to your friends and family about. Let them know that you've made them an executor or a guardian. Let your kids know that, hey, if I'm sick in the hospital, here's my wishes. It's going to save a lot of problems in the end if you do this in advance. And digital, right? 24/7 access to your account because we're an online system. We're always there for you. And done. 60% of Americans don't have a will. I said that in the very beginning. You can help lower that percentage. Again, that percentage is way too much. We need everybody to have these documents in case something tragic happens and you're prepared and your family's prepared. Again, the award-winning estate planning firm, we did win the award from the American Bar Association that said that we had the best online delivery of legal documents. So we hang our hats on that. And, I always hear, well, I can go get a will for $99 somewhere. Okay, but you have to think about what you're getting. What are you really getting in all of that? That's what you have to look for. Are you getting customer service? Are you getting help when you need to fill out your documents? We offer all of that through our customer service area and agents like Kishore. It really is a great value. This is our phone number and our email address. We're in Louisville, Kentucky. We're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. We would love to help you out. And now that's the end of my presentation. I'm gonna give it back to Kishore, and for the rest of maybe 30 more minutes, let's answer your questions. What questions do you have about NetLaw? Because this is your time. Kishore?
Sure. Thanks, Mark. Uh, Thanks for sharing all the details about why will and trust is important and why NetLaw is better compared to other products. So again, I would like to remind everyone, right? Again, you can write again. I should not say when Mark is here, but you can also check with your employer if they have some better comprehensive documentation, right? Not again just getting some partial thing is not good. If you are getting it, get the entire documentation, entire things which will mitigate the risk. Don't compromise on the necessities, right? We spend a lot of money on our weekend parties, potlucks, for movies, all those things. This is something like which impacts our entire family. So please make sure to do do it, right? Either you do it from NetLaw, do it from your company, whatever it is, but make sure you complete it. Don't delay it, because I know friends who signed up for NetLaw or signed up when we did the previous webinars, still they did not complete the documentation. It's nearly 1 year, because we don't think it is a priority until something happens to one of our friends or one of our relatives, or then immediately we think, oh, we should do it. But don't delay it. Don't delay further. And also, before opening up to questions, I would like to also mention, right? Because we all like deals. We all look into some offers, right? Unless there is an offer, it won't motivate us. So just for the sake of it, right? Again, these are most important things, much important than our H1B fee, our visa documentation, our passport. Visa, will and trust is much more important than all those things. But just for the sake of uh, to motivate you all, we have a deal going on, which is like buy one, get one. That means instead of $600, two families can split that cost, right? For example, family one will buy it, then family two can get it for free. Then basically you and your friend's family can split the cost. So instead of 600, you'll be only paying $300 each. So one family, wife and husband, all their documentation, including will, trust, everything will come for 300. And the same thing, another family will also pay only $300. As Mark already mentioned, if you are not planning to do any changes after 1 year, you can always, up to 12 months, you can do whatever changes you want. In 12th month, you can cancel the plan, or and whenever you want again after 2 years, 3 years, you can reactivate it. The second thing is, again, right, I encourage each of you to create this awareness in the community, right? Because many people still may not be knowing about what is the importance of these things, or they may not know the incidents which happened in Dallas. Or so I request each and everyone to share this information, share why will and trust is important, and educate the community as much as possible. And also, in case if you don't have another family to pay up for the buy one get one cost, you can always reach to me, Kishore. I will also post my phone number, uh, which is 832-867-8808, where I will try to map up with one more family. But again, right, because first you try out. In that way, minimum you are creating the awareness in your community, in your relatives, in your friends, whoever you care about, please share the information. So if something happens to someone later, you should not feel guilty that you did not share some valuable information to your friends or your relatives who are living in US, right? And also, as I mentioned, the other two things, always make sure every monthly once minimum talk to your better off spouse, share all the financial information, because we do a lot of things every day. Right, in our group, we nearly did 50 different type of investment seminars, stocks, IPOs. We did nearly everything. In real estate, we did 10, 15 seminars. In stocks, we did 10, 15 seminars. We do a lot of investments. We do all those things, but we forget to share that information uh, to our better off. So please make sure to share that information, add your better off as your beneficiary, right? Your insurance, your bank accounts, all those things. Sometimes you just fill up the application without adding them as a beneficiary, and make sure that you are doing that, right? The other thing is, I already mentioned about the insurance, but again, it's a again, all these things need a different session. I don't want to dilute the importance of will and trust now, but just I wanted to give you a quick overview of those things. Now let's get into the question and answers, right? I see that there are some 20-30 questions already, so we'll go one by one. And feel free to, if anybody has any other questions, because we have more than 170, 180 members here. I am not opening it to all because there'll be so much of disturbance. But yeah, if you have any questions, please you can post them in the chat window, or you can WhatsApp me on 832-867-8808. If anybody is dialing from their phones, you can just WhatsApp me on 832. Let me post 832-867-8808. Okay, let me go through one by one questions. Mark, some of the members want you to explain more details about this last will and children trust. Last will and children trust.
Yeah. So, the children's trust is included in the will. And let's talk about the will first. So, like I said, there's three major aspects to doing a will. Naming your executor. Who's going to handle everything, right? Who's going to be in charge after you pass away? That's the role of the executor. And the great thing about the NetLaw plan is you can name an executor and you can name alternate executors. So if that person's not there, or they're busy, they're out of town, they're out of the country, you can name an alternate to come in and fill in for that role. Same with the guardian. You can name a guardian and then an alternate guardian, especially in the fact with this group here being from India. A lot of your family members are still in India, and you may make a guardian someone in India, which you can do, but you may want to make an alternate guardian someone here in the States so that they could get to the children fast, because the person in India may not be able to get over here right away. So just another great aspect of the NetLaw program. And the third is specific bequest in the will, right? Making sure that you know that I have this asset and I want it to go to this person or persons. So that's why you do the will. The children's trust is included in there. And what the children's trust is, again, is if you're leaving a certain amount of life insurance or money from a bank, you can give it all to them at age 18, or you can separate it out. You can give a certain percentage at a specific date, right? So you may want to give everything to them at 18. You may give everything to them at 21, or everything of it to age 25. Or you may want to split it up. 30%, at age 18, 40% at age 25, and the remainder at age 30. The numbers are yours to play with. You can change them in any way. But, that's why you have a children's trust, is so that, maybe, the child isn't financially responsible to get a big inheritance at age 18. This way you can protect them even though you've passed on. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, thanks. So what are the steps after getting the forms printed from NetLaw site?
Yeah, so after you complete your documents, you'll print them out and get them witnessed and notarized. And then what we'd like for you to do is scan them back into the Vault system. So you have a signed copy, a hard copy, and then you have one online in case you ever need it. And then if you want to fund your trust, which is putting your major assets into the trust, real easy. So for your house, you would take the copy of your deed and a copy of our trust that you just created and head down to the county clerk's office. You'll just do a deed transfer. You're taking the deed out of your name and placing it into the name of the trust. You still have full control, full authority. You can sell the house anytime you want. It's just now the trust owns the property, and then that will avoid probate. Same with cars. You would just go down to the DMV and do a title change. Or a bank account. You would go down to the bank and change the bank name from, the Bob Smith bank account to the Revocable Living Trust of Bob Smith.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. So, Mark, what is the main advantage of transferring these properties into a trust? For example, right? For example, I am involved in a car accident or something, and if somebody sues me for a $1 million, and if all my assets are in a trust, will that protect in any way, or?
No, this is just a probate avoidance trust. This is not an asset protection trust. So if you're looking for situations like that, you would need to contact a lawyer about an asset protection trust.
Okay. What is the website name?
You can find us at netlawinc.com.
Why $8 month? $8 per month after first year. What if there are no changes?
Right. Remember, the $8 is absolutely optional. If you don't think that there's going to be any changes, you don't have to pay the $8. But if you want to continue it just in case something happens and you need to make that change right away, $8 a month isn't very expensive. It's $96 a year to have the ability to go in anytime and, make changes to your documents. So that's why you do it, is the ability to keep the account open in case something happens.
How long it takes for the whole process to complete all this documentation?
Yeah, really it takes about an hour to do both spouses' documents. It's really easy to do. It's really user-friendly. And it's just question and answers, right? The system asks you a question and you answer it. It is very, very user-friendly. And if you get stuck, you have any questions, that's what our customer service area is for. And they'll be able to answer any question that you have.
Will NetLaw help us to notarize and post the physical documents?
No. We're based out of Louisville, Kentucky. And if you're not there, you probably can't come into our office to get it notarized. So, what I would suggest is going down to your bank. They usually notarize documents for free.
How anybody knows that will is with NetLaw once the will owner has passed away? Is it through executor?
Yeah, the executor is the one that's going to be in charge of this. So, when you're doing your documents and you're done, whoever you chose to be your executor or alternate executor, you really need to let them know, hey, if something happens to me, I have all of my documents completed. Here's where you go to get them. And if you feel a little uncomfortable about giving them your username and password to get into your plan, if something happened to you and you pass away, the executor could call us, provide us a death certificate, and then we can open up the plan for them so that they can do what they need to do.
What happens to cash in bank? Does the court decide who gets the cash through probate process?
No, because in the plan, if you don't have a will, yes, correct. That's correct. Unless you have a joint account. So, if it's you and your spouse and you pass away, but your spouse is still alive, if their name's on the account, they get to keep it because their name's on the account. But let's say you have a bank account all your own, it wouldn't go directly to the spouse unless you named a beneficiary at the bank. But if you didn't, then the court system will come in and that will go through probate.
Does NetLaw provide service to be executed?
Yes, yeah. If you pass away and the executor needs help, they can call us.
Does will cover all financial wealth?
Yes, you can put anything you want into your will in the specific bequest section.
So is will needed only for the sake of kids, or will it be helpful for spouse as well?
Well, both spouses are going to complete their will. So yes, if there's minor children, both need to do their wills so the children are protected.
No, I think he meant like, for example, if husband passed away, how this will and trust document will help the other spouse. Maybe I think the medical will, HIP authorization, all such
Well,
type of.
yeah, as far as the children, I mean, if the dad died and the mom's still alive, the mom's going to raise them. Um, so, as far as that, it doesn't really help anything. I mean, they don't need that because one of the parents are still alive. As far as, banking and stuff like that, as long as, those assets are in the will, it'll be taken care of.
Okay. What option would be better for a newly-wed couple without kids yet? No major assets yet. Isn't it too early to complete this will and trust?
Yeah, our opinion is the $600 package is the best package we have. And even if they are young and don't have kids yet, will they? If they're looking to have kids, then why not go ahead and buy it? Just in case prices go up 5 years, 10 years from now, right? You can get this, you can have all of your documents sitting there waiting for you to use them.
Are there any previous statistics from NetLaw how this process is successful and executable?
Say that again. Is there what?
Are there any statistics on like how many people use the documents or how many people were able to successfully?
Oh, we've sold tens of thousands of plans. I don't know how many have went in and completed their documents, hopefully all of them. But we wouldn't know that. I mean, once we sell the plan and we get it to them, it's their plan.
Mhm. How are the rules for will and trust if we have special need kids? Are there any special clause which we need to know?
We're actually working on a special needs trust right now that we're going to introduce here in a little bit. But as of right now, no. And I would highly suggest for a special needs trust, you go see an attorney until we get ours out. And then, because right now we have attorneys working on special needs trust. We have about 30 states already done, and we're waiting on the rest of them.
Why do we need to pay monthly bill once we have all the will documented, assuming there are no changes? I think
Right. That's so in case you need to edit your documents after the first year, or if you want to store anything into your vault, you need to have an open and active account.
Does the promo buy one get one promo covers for spouse too? Yes.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Remember, one plan covers both spouses.
Will the attorney work with us to help us to make any decisions? For example, if I have a living will the attorney help me to draft my will saying if two organs fail and if I am on coma, pull the plug, etc.?
Yeah, we have a network of attorneys, but they will charge you for any work that they do. That's why we always suggest that you call us and we can help you.
Do we have to pay $8 per month starting the first month, or the $600 will cover the first year?
$600 covers the first year. In the 13th month, that's when the $8 kicks in.
Is the monthly rate subject to change in the future?
We have no plans to change that.
Can we add Indian assets like home or land in the trust?
Yes, absolutely you can.
Is buy one get one available now online to purchase? Does it give option to provide details of the other family? Again, that option is not available online. You can message me or you can message any of your friends who invited you to this call, and we will send you a special link. Only by clicking on that link, you will be able to get that buy one get one. So once the first family purchases it, then the second family will get it for free. Can we have an executor who is in India?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Do we need to notarize documents every time whenever I change something, or can I just do it online?
No, absolutely. You need to, anytime that you change a document, you need to print it out and get it witnessed and notarized.
Why LegalZoom is charging only 300 per family and NetLaw is charging 600?
Well, I believe LegalZoom charges $25 a month, if I'm right. And maybe that's Legal Shield. I'm not sure. I would have to do my research more on that. But you know, I can only tell you what we offer, and our prices are very competitive to theirs. So I'm thinking the $300 is probably just one person. And remember, with LegalZoom, when you go in and create one document, you have to go back in and then create a whole. You have to start from the very beginning again and create the spouses. With ours, the answers are already in there, like you know, the kids' information, the spouse's information, all of that. It's a lot easier system to use, and I'm pretty sure that it's 300 a person, not 300 a couple.
And also with the buy one get one, you are basically getting it for 300. So
Right. They don't offer a buy one, get one free. I don't know how well their customer service is. I don't know how easy it is to talk to one of their attorneys. So there's a lot that you'd have to do a lot of research on.
does executor need to be someone else other than spouse?
No, it can be your spouse.
After we set up the trust with assets and beneficiaries, what does it take to add additional assets or beneficiaries?
Yeah. So, you know, in the specific bequest section of the will, you can name all of your assets and who they're going to go to. And, you know, this is great because you may sell your house and buy another house 5 years from now. And all you got to do is just log on, add that into specific bequest, make sure that you do the deed transfer into the will or into the trust, and you're done.
Can we name our relatives who are in India as primary guardians for kids? For example, grandparents.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
legal to do?
absolutely, you can. But remember, we have the alternate tool as well. So our suggestion is, you know, at least have someone close so that in the case that both parents pass away, someone can go grab those children and take care of them while the person from India is trying to get over here.
Do we need to provide the asset details in the will or trust, like bank account, property address, etc.?
You would want to. I mean, you don't have to, but you know, you would want to so that the court system knows who you want to give this stuff to. That's why you put specific bequest in there.
I think he meant like, should he give all his bank account number, all those things, or he can
Oh,
just
the
say
full,
that?
no, what I would do is just the name of the bank and maybe the last 4 digits of the account number.
Yeah. Can we choose contingent executor? I mean, more than one executor.
Yes, you can.
What is restricting us to make online transfers once account owner has passed away?
Well, once the client passes away, the documents become irrevocable. No one can go in and change them.
No, I think he meant like, for example, if Mr. X has some money in the bank and Mr. X passes away, his question is like why his wife, Mrs. Y, can transfer the money from his bank into through online to some other bank or somewhere.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. But if the wife is on that bank account with the husband, she wouldn't have to do anything. She would still have control of that bank account. If the husband just has a bank account by himself and the spouse is not on it, that's going to go through probate because he didn't put in the will who was going to get that account. It doesn't automatically go to her.
Do we need to pay to NetLaw each time we revise the will and trust if we don't enroll $8 per month?
Yes, you would need to catch up and make sure your account's open and active every, you know, if let's say you didn't pay the $8 and then 5 months went by and you needed to change it. And then you didn't pay the $8 again. And 5 months later, it happened again. You would have to pay that reactivation fee again.
What is the major difference between a will and a trust?
two separate documents that do two separate things. The trust only takes your assets and avoids probate. The will is where you name an executor, a guardian, and where you put your specific bequest in.
If employment changes, do we need to update the will?
You could, because you may have a different 401k. But really, no, not on employment.
So one for both spouses in all states. In California, I was told we need separate will package.
Yeah, the wills are separate. The wife will have her will, the husband will have his will.
Yeah, but still they will buy only one package, right? Mark?
One package, right. One package covers both spouses, and they get their separate set of documents.
Do you have a 24/7 call center?
No, we're open 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Do you have a, is Vault on the cloud?
The vault is on the cloud, yes.
How many executors or guardians can I have?
You can have as many as you want.
Is there any minimum net worth which makes sense to have trust along with will?
Say that again, Kishore.
Is there any minimum net worth we should have which makes sense to have trust along with will?
No.
That means he's asking, like, for example, if they don't have any assets, like a house or car or something, still do they need a trust? Or
Well, I always suggest that they get the trust because they never know if they're going to inherit property later on down the line. If they know for sure that they're not going to have any houses or cars, then you could probably just do the $400 package that doesn't include the trust.
can the executor and witness be the same?
No. A witness to your documents cannot play a role in your documents at all.
Do we need to update the documents every time when we change the address?
Yes. Last question, and I have to get to the next webinar.
How long is NetLaw in the business?
Yeah, we've been around since 2012.
Can we add major kids also in the will?
Yeah, you can name your kids in the will. Absolutely. They just can't be an executor or a guardian unless they're over the age of 18.
One last question, Mark. After making the will, if we are back to India for good, are the assets in US covered?
Yes, absolutely. You still have your documents. They're legal documents for as long as you live.
Yeah, there are a few more questions, but I will email those questions to you, Mark. I know you have a few more seminars today, tomorrow, day after. So thanks again, Mark, for your time.
Thank you, Kishore.
Have a great weekend and have a nice rest of the evening.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone for joining us. I hope this was very informative and very helpful. Thank you so much.
And again, I repeat my contact information. Either you can talk to friends who invited you to this meeting, or you can call me on 832-867-8808. I repeat, 832-867-8808. Or you can email me on kishore.ramaraju@gmail.com so that we can send you the links which will give you buy one, get one package. Right? For any other questions, yeah, you can text me, you can email me, and I will get all the responses from Mark, and I will send all the information. But please don't delay further, right? Get it from NetLaw, get it from your employer, get it from wherever you want, LegalZoom, whatever it is, but make sure you complete it, right? We don't want another family to be in that situation, right? Which happened like in Dallas. So please take care of it as most priority task for this weekend, and have a great weekend, everyone. Good night.